Hello everybody, welcome along to round 7 of the RRLeagues DTM 2020 Championship in 2021. We're here at, I say, Silverstone for round 7. Current leader of the championship, Damien de Grasse. There he is, just going out to start qualifying, 12 minutes qualifying. Laps here in practice, de Grasse was doing about 1:45. The others a fair way off Damien, to be fair, around here. So this one, if Damien can keep it together and put his laps in that he normally does, looks favourite for this one. I say 1:45 lap, 55-minute race with not a mandatory stop, but they're going to have to stop anyway for tyres during the race and for fuel possibly as well. Remember, all that adds time. They don't have to stop for tyres. I think they have to stop for fuel, not for tyres. So, but they're going to need to stop the tyres anyway. These won't last a race. So any advantage you think you can get from not changing tyres isn't going to help you. You can see Damien there desperately trying to warm his tyres up as he goes through Maggots and Beckett's there on 3 wheels. Very nice. So far 16 runners in the server. I suppose I should wish you all a very happy Easter. That's probably why we're a little bit short of numbers today. It is a bank holiday weekend here in the UK and around Europe, so chances are many of the drivers enjoying some well-earned time with their family. Some of them have got a pass out tonight though, 16 of them have anyway. I'll say Damien one of those as he comes around to start a lap. Lap starts on the Grand Prix circuit, so he's just going around here through the final turn to start a lap. And let's go on board Damien and take a lap around Silverstone. Turn 1, turn 2, up to turn 3, big dive to turn to the right. Missed that sausage. Horrible little kinky turn to the left. No one likes a kinky turn. Well, some of us do. Turn 5 doesn't really exist. Just snatch as much of that as you can. Make sure you don't run too far wide there. And towards 7, brake as late as you can near the left-hand side there. Late apex there. As you go, get the car squared off as soon as you can. Get the power down. And on the old start-finish straight. The old pit building there on the right-hand side. Sweep through here. Keep it on the black and white curbing, that's the track limits there. Up through Maggots and Beckett's we go. Take as much speed through the first one as you can. Try and carry as much as you can through 2. Then it's a gradual slow down through here until you get the car straight. And it's on the gas again, down the hanger straight. Drift from the right over to the left hand side of the track, up to the curb on the left, swing it round. Try and let the car drift out to the left but not too far. Come back across the track in position for the horrible chicane. Don't touch the curbs, they will break your car. And then swing through again through the final turn, and there's a lap of Silverstone. And de Grasse puts in 1:46.0, so already on his first attempt round, second quicker than Ralph Rudd with a 1:46.9. Guide there just not far behind, 1:47 flat, along with Pavlicek, Damien de Grasse's teammate. Those two fighting out for the championship, pretty close between the two of them. That looks like a server issue, so bear with us for a second when we try and get this one. Apologies about that, ladies and gentlemen. I think we had a bit of an internet dropout glitch there, but we're back on board now. Here we go. Come on, Tinterweb. Oh, start jerking around again. There we go, back nice and smooth again now. So where were we before we were rudely interrupted? We were on a lap with Damien de Grasse, weren't we? You can see there his car's not looking particularly like Damien, so let's go on board with Max Haas. It's a decent lap from Max. He didn't show much in practice when I was watching, but that's a nice lap from Max there. 1:46.5. So nice going from Max. Just jump on with Max as we start a lap. But let's go on with the driver cam so we can get rid of that horrible number out of there. Such a horrible part of the track, this. But Max is through there pretty cleanly. The graze of the inside curve there and through. So quick through sector 1 for Max. Just a 100th off the pace, very quick. Quick through sector 2. This could be a decent lap from, well, he's already had one decent lap, but you can see he's currently on target for pole positioning. Just keep it clean through the chicane. Runs a little bit wide there. That's going to lose him some time. Crosses the line. Let's just see where that puts Max. Yeah, 1:46.7. Lost half a second in that last sector. You saw him go deep into the chicane. That compromised his exit from the chicane. And but potential there for Max. You can see he's obviously got some pace tonight. He'll be looking forward to the race with that sort of ability. De Grasse still sits out there in pole. Pavlicek now pops up in second place with 1:46.365. So Radek just letting Damien know it's not going to be an easy ride tonight like he thought it might have been. Like I said, De Grasse in the 1:45s during practice, so we'll wait to see if he's got that sort of pace during the race, or indeed during qualifying. A quick through sector 1. Comes across the old start-finish line. Through Cops, up to Maggots. Through there, round through Beckett's. Exit Chapel. And down the hanger straight they go. Well, they go, he goes. That's a better camera view from Radek, going quickly here. Dives into Stowe, leaves it on that curb, swings it out, that's nice. Has Radek got it right here this time? That's nice. That's nice. Come on, get on the gas. Final corner, missed that curb, swing it round, and that is for Radek. Takes him pole 1:45.8. That's good to see. So Damien isn't going to have it his own way tonight. That's a cracking lap from Radek Pavlicek there with a 1:45.8. Provisional pole there. And it looks like that could be it. De Grasse is in the pits. He's not going to get another lap in. Arella's still out there. Bergsma's still out there going round, but they're in 1:46.5. So, oh. Pit lane's that way. So Pavlicek with pole position here, ahead of his teammate Damien de Grasse, the two championship rivals fighting it out here. Max Haas, we saw him with pace in third, Arella fourth, Bergsma fifth. Fabian Gide sits there in sixth, ahead of Nemanja Nemodovic and Jack Camaletto. Where's position number 8, race room? Why does it go 5, 6, 7, 9? Dusan Magyar I've got on my screen sat as 8th, Jack Camaletto 9th, Schilling in 10th. Nice drive there from Mark. Rick Benazzi up to 11th. And the screen goes blank. So here we go. Drivers just getting their fuel sorted out. Keep the tyres as warm as possible before they start the race. They will take a lap or two to come to them, and then the rest of the race is about managing that tyre wear as they go round, trying to make sure they only have to do one stop. Silverstone does tend to be a bit of a tyre muncher, so we shall wait and see. Remember Tobias Hoffmann has taken the opportunity in previous races to do 2 stops, so I'll keep an eye on Tobias just to see if he comes in after 20 minutes. But lights are on, lights are off, away they go. Not the greatest start there from Pavlicek as Haas comes alongside him. Accident at the back there, but Haas is through and takes the lead. Oh, De Grasse is off. De Grasse goes wide. De Grasse finds himself down in 12th position now. That's Hoffmann going through as well, so down to 13th after coming together with his teammate. But out in front, Max Haas is away. Down the straight he goes. Through Brooklands they go, round Luffield. Haas leads from Pavlicek, Arella in third, Bergsma fourth. Milonovic up to 5th. Great start for Nemanja there. Camaletto as well up to 6th. Fabian Gide 7th. Magyar 8th. Benazzi 9th. Wood 10th. De Grasse recovering to 11th. Schilling 12th. Hoffmann 13th. Simon Fillingham another casualty at the start there, down to 14th. Rizzo 15th. Valentino Rossi there in 16th. It looked like Elio Fernandez was the one who had the incident on the start line, down in 17th. But away Haas comes through Beckett's. He's got about half a second here on Pavlicek and Arella. And they come down the hanger straight. Nice and square from the guys. And here's De Grasse. That's Nigel Wood in front of him. We've seen Nigel have some pace in the previous races as well, so this is not going to be easier for Damien to try and get back here. Although he's looking up inside of Nigel Wood there. Nigel's not going to give him that space, that's just going to slow him down. As De Grasse goes past, looks like Wood was chopped off a little bit there. And already Fillingham here. That's Mark Schilling in front, you can see De Grasse away and gone, so I'm not sure that was the outcome Nigel Wood was looking for there, but De Grasse is through, he's up to 10th. But out in front, as they come down the Wellington straight, Max Haas away from Pavlicek, Arella, Bergsma, Milonovic, Camaletto, Gide, Magyar climbing all over the back of Fabian Gide. Just got chopped off there, unfortunately, going through Brooklands. Across the old start-finish straight. Just having a bit of a weave there through power. As the tyres fight for temperature and grip. You can see Magyar drifting out wide there. The tyres not wanting to play just yet. However, behind Pavlicek, there's a bit of a queue forming between Arella, Bergsma, and Manojlovic just hanging on to the back of those. Down they come. That's Pavlicek, championship contender, well away from Damien de Grasse, who's now up to 8th position. Trying to chase this down. This is the view from Bergsma in 4th. That's a relay in front of him with Pavlicek, and leading away is Haas. Feather as they go through there, swing left, little feather again from Andre, down to the right hand here as they go through this horrible little section. Arella just taking that a little bit better there than Bergsma, and Arella's away about half a second now on Bergsma. Just trying to climb onto the back of Pavlicek in front of him. Andre just drifts it a little bit wide there. Not too much time lost though as he swings it back through. You can see Manojlovic now looking a little bit interested as well. So that's Haas, Pavlicek, Arella, Bergsma, Camaletto, Manojlovic, Camaletto, a couple of seconds behind Nemanja. Nemanja with the baboon coloured rear car, or rear end of the car, that big purple back end. De Grasse now up to 7th, chasing down Camaletto. As he tries to get, so he hasn't, look at that, he's on the same straight as Haas. DRS open, jumps up inside of Camaletto. Jack takes the outside line there. De Grasse just nudging it wide. Camaletto comes back at him though. He'll have the inside line for here, but De Grasse really pushing his way through. And that's just giving Guide a chance on Camaletto there, you can see. Let's have a look on Keed's car. Jack qualified in pole position last night for the Donington GT4 race with RWB, only to have a disconnect in about 10 minutes of the race start, away in the lead. So he'll want to make amends for that yesterday, but at the moment it's not happening. De Grasse has passed him up to 6, chasing down that top group of 5, led by Max Haas, who's now got Pavlicek all over the back of him. Look back from Haas's rear bumper. That's Pavlicek. He's got Arella right behind him too, with Bergsma and Manojlovic. Drift their way through Cops. Haas just can a little bit more speed through there than Pavlicek. Pulls out half a second or so. And this could really upset the apple cart if Haas can take this one. There, Damien de Grasse just pulls into view in the rear of the camera. The rear of the shot, not the rear of the camera's here. The rear of the shot, now just, what, 5 seconds behind the leader. So this group of 5 shortly to become a group of 6, I'm sure. But Haas still out in front from Pavlicek, Arella, Bergsma, Manojlovic, de Grasse. Gap back then to Camaletto, who's got Guide right behind him with Tobias Hoffman and Dusan Magyar. Benizzi then in 11th, Schilling in 12th, Wood 13th, Fillingham 14th, Rizal 15th, Fernandez 16th. Looks like Valentino Rossi has had his usual disconnect, unfortunate of him. Reliability not something he's looking forward to this season, and he's out of the race, so just 16 runners left. Down the start finish straight, the Wellington straight rather. And Luffield they go. through Woodcote, which isn't really a corner anymore, but it's a shame, but there you go. And along the old start-finish straight, Haas with Pavlicek behind him again, but Haas just seems to be able to carry a little bit more speed through this part of the circuit. He just seems to have the car set up more for this. And Pavlicek just managed to hang on to the back of him this time. He's gone on board with third place man RRLeagues. No DRS for Ralph this lap, you can see, so he's saving those for later in the race. And guys get 1 lap of DRS usage for every 2 laps they complete, so save those up maybe for an attack. But at the moment, RRLeagues just happy to sit in the wheel tracks of Haas and Pavlicek. Just be carried along in their slipstream right now. Haas control the race out in front. Pavlicek can get close to him, but that's about it. De Grasse still... Oh, Nemanja had a bit of an incident. Whether that was with De Grasse, I'm not sure. But De Grasse is past him. And there's a view from Milošević's car. So De Grasse up to 5th, Milošević down to 6th. The way Damien's been charging through, I'm sure there's some of Damien's paint on Nemanja's car, but we'll defer and wait for that one because we didn't see it. But Haas still leads. Down they come as they swing left. And then right, and then back left again. And then make a diagonal line across the straight. I said, look for the entry to Copse. Pavlicek just having a look. Compromise his line slightly through there, but not too much. Carries the speed through. Up to the chicane they come. Remember, no anti-lock brakes on these cars, no traction control. Everything is by feel. And Haas comes through to lead another lap. 6 laps gone. Haas leads from Pavlicek, RRLeagues, Bergsma, De Grasse after a terrible start where he found himself down in 13th position. Now back up to 5th as he chases down the leading group. Milošević in 6th. Tobias Hoffmann up to 7th. Gede 8th. Magyar 9th. Schilling 10th. Wood 11th, Fillingham 12th, Rizov 13th. What's happened to Jack Caminato? Jack's down in 15th position. Has he had an incident? Not quite sure. De Grasse using his DRS on this lap. Try and catch up onto the back of these guys. Getting tasted between Nigel Wood and Mark Schilling, as you can see here. Wood down the outside of Schilling as they come. Oh, what a whoa, great overtake that was by Nigel Wood. So come down through Brooklands and Luffield. Got a feeling Nigel using his DRS there. Mark choosing not to use it on this lap, and he's lost a place because of it, and now he's got Simon Fillingham right behind him. Good race there for Nigel Wood. On board from Fillingham's car, he's down in 12th at the moment, trying to make his way back up the field. To the chicane they go. Just a bit deep there, but not a great exit there from Simon either. So Wood takes him over the line. Schilling, Finningham, 3.5 seconds back to Binnersley, Rizov, and Canaletto. Simon just getting a run on Mark here. Can he send it up the inside? No, Mark cuts across, doesn't give Simon the room there. Tight little left-hander there, and then accelerate through this little kink. And if they go again, down the Wellington straight. Just looking at, Simon a bit deep in there. Schilling using DRS on this lap, so that's probably why Simon couldn't get near him. While Mark's got the DRS open, let's go and have a look and see if he can get close to Nigel Wood as they go through down the old fast start finish straight through Copse. There's the DRS open. Can he get onto the back of Nigel Wood? I don't think he's going to be able to. He's catching him, but not going to have enough speed to get through here. Does climb onto the back of Nigel. Carries pace well there. Through Stowe, up to Vale. Oh, we're just catching the curb. That's not going to help him. Mark stays 11th. Back up front, it's still pretty tight between the top three. Haas, Pavlicek, Arella really pressuring the second place man. Andre Bergsma, and then back behind them, De Grasse through on Bergsma. So Damien De Grasse up to 4th position now. He's got his teammate in his sights. Fastest man on track at the moment, obviously Damien De Grasse 147s, all the other guys doing 148. But you wonder how much is Damien taking out of his tyres with this sort of pace, and are the three in front of him just managing their tyres, because to come from 13th back to where he is, that rubber will be screaming by now. But Damien's not giving it a rest. You can see just how close they are now together. Tobias Hoffman up to 6 now, past Manojlovic. He's 6 seconds off the back of Bergsma though, so a group of 3, these 2, and then a big gap that I say to Hoffman, Manojlovic, Geed, Magyar, Wood, Schilling, Fillingham, Binnersley, Rizov, Camaletto and Fernandez right out the back. Jack Camaletto. Car not looking too damaged, so I'm not sure if he had a spin earlier or whether he actually pitted. I don't think he did. Unless he pitted for fuel, but unfortunately my counter doesn't tell me if he stopped. He does find himself down in 15th. DRS open for Jack. He's off in front of him also. No, not with DRS. So Jack looks down the inside, runs deep. Can he get it turned? He can. Look at that. Fantastic bit of grip there from the Audi. Off he goes, so that's filling him up to 14th. Fabian Geed is right behind Dusan Magyar. So trying to Maggots and Beckett's. Magyar looks on a different line through Maggots, Beckett's and Naturally Chapel, but it seems to go the same amount of speed as Geed did. It looked slightly quicker from Geed. Oh, it just takes a little bit too much curve on the inside. He's close up now with Magyar. Tight into that first part to give you as much grip on the outside here. That's perfect there from Geed, doesn't lift through there, but it's also perfect from Magyar. He goes through. Tobias Hoffman in the pits. We said watch out for Tobias making a two-stop. Well, he's in after about 22 minutes. So Tobias happy to munch through his tyres knowing he's doing two stops. Just struggling to get the power down there. You can see the car fishtail as he tried to get out of there, couldn't. Fillingham also in the pit, so Simon Fillingham's made his stop. Here he is at the pits. He's had his first set of tyres, so he'll be in for two stops. Back up front though, Haas, Pavlicek and Arella. You can see De Grasse still 2 seconds behind, so his pace has just dropped off ever so slightly, only by about 3 or 4 tenths. He's just into the 148s now as well. Just trying to cool his tyres down, I'm guessing. See if he can get through to make it a one-stop race. Remember, a 55-minute race. Haas from Pavlicek, from Arella. De Grasse, Bergsma hanging on to the back of De Grasse, only by a couple of seconds or so, but he's there. As the three of these guys come down, start another lap. Again, let's go on board with Arella. It's first and second man ahead of them. Back markers ahead. Gets out of the way for them. Nice driving, whoever that is. De Grasse just starting to smell them. Gap's now down to 1.8 between De Grasse and Arella. The front three covered by about a second. Haas from Pavlicek, from Arella. BMW, BMW, BMW. And BMW there in fourth, obviously. Pavlicek's teammate Damien De Grasse. Just having a quick little look as they go through Copse. Sorry, through Stowe. My bad, through Stowe up to the Vale chicane they come. Haas through. Nice line there from Max. Same from Radek. And Ralph sits and watches and waits to pick up some scraps. First five covered by about 5 seconds or so. And a big gap back then to Milojevic in sixth. With Magyar, Geed, Wood, Schilling, Binnersley, Camaletto, Rizov, Hoffman and Fillingham having made their first of what I think will be 2 stops. Most of the guys look like they're going for one. But reliable as ever, Max Haas leads on Pavlicek and Arella. Seen it before with Max when he drove at Bathurst in the, I think it was in the last GT3 Masters series. Had a fantastic battle. Fabian Guide. But managed to stay at the front for the most of that race. Even though Guide was literally snapping at his heels all the way. So Max knows how to drive under pressure, that's for sure. And he'll be feeling the pressure from Pavlicek and Arella. De Grasse keeping the gap at 1.8 seconds behind Arella. So I think Damien's got more pace now, but he's obviously managing those tyres as best as he can to try and get them through for at least another 5 minutes. As they approach the halfway point of the race. Down the Wellington Straight he comes, through Brooklands. Haas leads Pavlicek and Arella. Back in the field, Paradigm Shift guys Camaletto and Binnersley closing up together. Bergsman's teammate Jack Camaletto down in 12th, Bergsman currently running in 5th. You can see Hoffman there after his pit stop already starting to catch Camaletto. So he said they've both got to make one more stop. That's true positions there on track, but Hoffman carrying a bit more pace possibly than Jack Camaletto with those fresher tyres. Just go back to Arella, he's right very close now to Pavlicek. Go through for another lap, that's the pit entrance there, take it before the chicane. Perfect apex there from Ralph. And again, the two in front just as assured. Haas, Pavlicek, Arella. De Grasse now 2.5 seconds behind Arella. Those tyres obviously starting to get away from him. A mistake from Haas, wow. I often say that. Runs deep as they go through Brooklands, out through Luffield. Managed to keep the position though, but it's going to be close as they go down at the start-finish straight of the old circuit. Pavlicek just as a little wave to Max, hello. But like I said, Max, not one to crack under pressure. Pavlicek, no, I thought it might be side by side there as he goes through, but they're not. Haas keeps it together. It's a view from Arella as they go down the hanger straight. Pavlicek with DRS open. Haas making sure if he's going to take the inside line, he takes it. Oh, coming together there as they come back. Haas just... Oh, so Haas goes into the pit. So Haas comes in for his pit stop while Pavlicek and Arella fight out first. What is first place now? And Haas will be hoping that these two will slow each other down while he jumps in for his stop. So Haas in the pits. De Grasse is also in. Bergsma goes through though, so Bergsma up to 3rd. Pavlicek and Arella through as well to start another one, so that's where they are. Haas already moving out of the pits, as is De Grasse, so we'll keep an eye on those two. Manojlovic also in the pits as De Grasse exits. Where's he going to come out? Around Nigel Wood, I think. Yeah, there's Nigel Wood. He comes out ahead of Wood, so that's good for De Grasse. He hasn't got to get past Nigel Wood. So can Damien make better use of those tyres now he hasn't got to push his way through the field? Let's jump back to Pavlicek and RRLeagues and just see if they dive in. I would suggest they would come in this lap, but they will have slightly fresher tyres come the end of the race. Schilling gets a drive-through penalty there for speeding in the pit lane. Very easy to light the rears of these cars up as you exit the pits. And that's obviously what Mark's done. Pavlicek using all of the curb as he tries to put in as quick a lap as possible. He's got no DRS available to him. Go through Stowe. He's going to dive right. Pavlicek dives right. I didn't see RRLeagues go though. So where's Ralph? Ralph goes through to start another lap. Obviously feeling these tyres have got a bit of life in them. And has he been held up by those two? So RRLeagues goes through to lead the race. Pavlicek's in. Bergsma also comes in. So RRLeagues leads from Pavlicek and Bergsma. We'll just keep an eye out for Damien de Grasse as he comes round the final corner. Where's Pavlicek? There's Pavlicek just coming up the slip road there. Gets out ahead of his teammate, but that gap's closed drastically as de Grasse looks to take advantage on his nice warm tyres and does. So de Grasse, what an outlap that must have been. Past Pavlicek. And where's that going to put him with RRLeagues? Wow. As Pavlicek had a poor pit stop, which had looked okay from what I was watching on the monitor here. De Grasse just storming on that new set of tyres. And already leaves Pavlicek 2 seconds in his wake. RRLeagues gone through for yet another lap. Great tyre management from Ralph RRLeagues, considering he was chasing down the front three, or the front two rather, all through that first stint. Is he going to dive right now? He does. So RRLeagues comes into the pit. Haas is just starting to come down the Wellington straight. That's de Grasse behind him. You can see Pavlicek there in the distance. So Haas keeps his place. Must have just been a poor stop from Pavlicek, because that gap now to Haas is, what, some 4 seconds or so? So Haas comes round the final turn. I've had to stop right at the end of the pit straight there, you can see. So Haas comes through, RRLeagues moving, but he's not going to come out. There goes de Grasse. There's RRLeagues, and there's Pavlicek. So RRLeagues just stretching that tyres out. He's caught him now back in fourth, but remember, he has done 3 extra laps on that old set of tyres. So he can chew through these at a much quicker pace to try and pull back Max Haas, Damien de Grasse and Radek Pavlicek. Remember, de Grasse stopping fairly early doors with Haas. So here's your race leader, Max Haas, after the pit stops. De Grasse in second, Pavlicek third. RRLeagues finds himself now down in fourth, ahead of Bergsma. Hoffman up to sixth, although we think he'll have to stop again. Manojlovic to seventh, Magyar's in eighth, Nigel Wood ninth, Fabian Guide 10th, Fellingham 11th, Camiletto in 12th. From Binnesley, Rizov, Schilling and Elio Fernandez brings up the rear. And speaking of Elio Fernandez, drive-through penalty for Elio as well for speeding in the pit lane. We said it's quite easy to do in these cars, and Elio just proves the point. So Elio's going to have to treat this as a testing session as Haas comes through to complete another lap. 18 on the board. Haas comes through from De Grasse, pressuring him now. Let's go on board with Damien. Fight for the lead. DRS open. This is Haas about to lose the lead of the race. It is. To crash through. And from that first lap incident where he found himself down in 13th position, what a drive from Damien De Grasse. Can he keep these tyres in to the end of the race and control the race pace from Haas? Pavlicek now 5 seconds behind this battle. Arella slowly catching Pavlicek, about a second behind him now as his tyres come in. But we saw De Grasse rather have pace as he was getting those tyres through their initial part of their life, but as they started to die off, his pace dropped as well. Although he was cutting through traffic and fighting, so that will cause a little bit more tyre wear than normal. Engine sound amazing, bubbling away. Haas with his DRS open, trying to chase down De Grasse. De Grasse doesn't have DRS available to him this lap. Haas just runs in a little bit deep there, but can that pace through? Exit Luffield. DRS open again. And towards Copse. As soon as he hits the brake, the DRS closes. That wing just sits up more. Gives him the grip through the corners. You see how stiff the chassis are as he goes through, lifting wheels here and there. DRS open again for Haas. Third activation as he comes down the hanger straight. Really trying to keep hold of De Grasse here. Gap's about a second and a quarter. Through Stowe. Up to the Vale chicane. And barring incidents, it looks like De Grasse slowly eking this lead out now. Last lap was a 1:46.7. The only person currently to get into the 1:46 is De Grasse. Best lap so far in the race, a 1:46.385. But with that sort of pace, you have to ask a question about the tyres, although I've got a feeling that Damien's got enough skill to deal with them as they begin to get down towards the canvas. So what's happening further back in the field? Well, Bergsma is behind this battle between Arella and Pavlicek. Arella with DRS open. Pavlicek also deploying during this lap. See how much grip they've got, these cars, they swing through these corners. really are aero-loaded cars. Right, here we go. Arella with DRS against Pavlicek with DRS. Jumps out round the outside. Can he keep it there? Arella on Pavlicek. He does. Arella's through. What a great pass that was from Ralph Arella. Round the outside of Stowe. He's up to third position. Trying to chase down Max Haas. You can see Hoffman there in 6th, but he's in the pits, making his second stop of the race. There he is on the jacks. That's at Pavlicek and Arella. So De Grasse leads Haas from now Arella. Pavlicek in 4th, Bergsma still in 5th, Nemanja Nemonovic still in 6th, Dusan Magyar 7th, Tobias Hoffman just coming out the pits in 8th. He'll come out ahead of Nigel Wood. He does. There's Hoffman through. Well ahead of Wood in 9th. Fabian Giel in 10th. Jack Caminetto up to 11th. From Binnersley, Rizov, Schilling, Fillingham down in 15th. That's after his second stop. And Fernandez brings up the rear. So Arella just dobs into the 140. I said before, De Grasse was the only one in the 146s. Arella now puts in a 146.9 as he tries to chase down Max Haas. As De Grasse continues to put in the 146s, Haas staying with him as best he can, but the gap's now up to 2 seconds. And Arella, you can just see Haas disappearing out the bottom corner of the picture there. Arella, Pavlicek, Bergsma hanging on to the back of these two as well, so fair play to Andre Bergsma. The only Audi in the top 5. Really trying to hang on to the back of Radek Pavlicek. As we come to the last quarter of an hour of the race. Remember, as we get a little bit further on, Ralph Arella's tyres 3 laps younger than most of these drivers out here. In some cases 4. So he'll have more pace when it comes to the end of the race as the tyres start to go away from the other drivers. Ralph will obviously have worked that strategy out. I'm not sure if it was the best strategy in the world, because you can see now the gap he's got between him and Haas when he was right up with Max Haas. But he has got the jump on Pavlicek, so he still finds himself in 3rd position, which is where he was when he came in the pits. He just finds himself, unfortunately, now some 7 seconds off the lead, whereas he could touch it before. So DRS open for Arella. Back marker jumps out the way for both of them. Nice drive in there from him. So Arella comes through. Pavlicek in 4th. Bergsma just in the background in the number 10 car in 5th. He's going to get caught up with a back marker, unfortunately, so he might lose a little bit of time there. Here is Bergsma. Marker just eases off slightly. Bergsma's through there up into 5th, stays in 5th rather, but now got a clear track ahead of him to Pavlicek and Arella. Out in front though, there's the gap from De Grasse to Max Haas. Damien's starting to stretch it out a bit. Mistakes from both of them on last lap. 47.3 from Damien, a 47.5 from Max. 46.9 again from Arella. And Pavlicek just behind him again, just dobbling into the 47 flat. So front two just need to be careful. I know there's only 12 minutes to go and they're some 5 seconds ahead. But the 2 guys behind, we saw this first stint of the race, have got a lot of pace. Oh, De Grasse just gets wide there as he comes on the outside of Luffield. So he gets the power down. Keeps it together though. But again, little mistakes like that. Not saying he can't afford them, but as we come to the end of the race and the tyres start to go off, he just needs to make sure that he doesn't cost himself too much time. This is a championship battle, remember, between him and Pavlicek. So there's De Grasse, Haas just in the background, and Pavlicek just popping down to a straight, so you can see right as just going through the corner there, that was Damien De Grasse. Pavlicek, Haas goes through there again. Then Arella and himself. So while he can still see Damien De Grasse, Radek will still think he's got a chance here, but he'll need to really hang on to the coattails and hope that Ralph can pull them closer. So both put in 1:47.5 there, as did De Grasse. Max Haas on almost a 1:48, 1:47.95. So Max just needs to be careful he doesn't fall back into the clutches of these two. Oh, Radek just struggling there. He went through the village section there and the loop, trying to get out of that corner. Just didn't have the grip of the tyres, lit the back end up squirrely onto the grass, and that's just cost him 3 seconds onto Arella, and that's just put Andre Bergsma in the firing line now, because he can see Pavlicek a lot closer than he was a couple of minutes ago, and that'll be Andre's little sense of I can do this. So fighting over just yet, Magyar, that's Manojlovic in front of him in 6th. Dusan pushing Nemanja for all he's worth. Further back, this is Gide and Camaletto. We come through Luffield. Both of these guys using DRS this lap, so no advantage for either of them. Well, the advantage they gain will be shared out between the two of them. Let's go back to the Magyar-Manojlovic battle. Magyar just runs it in hot there. That's going to give Manojlovic. Both of them running it a little bit. Magyar just desperate to get the power down. Lights up the rear. Almost 360s it, but doesn't. Saves it, but that's lost him that position as Hoffman, on his nice fresh tyres, goes up to 7th. And he now carries the fight to Manojlovic. So unfortunate there for Magyar, but you could see that happening for about 30 seconds. He was getting the power on earlier and earlier, running in deep to corners, and then as he came to that one, just desperate to get after Manojlovic, lit the rears up, and the back end came round to say hello and offer him 3 seconds. So that's Magyar down in 8th now, Hoffman up to 7th, Manojlovic 6th. Bergs was chasing Pavlicek for 4th. Arella, Haas and De Grasse leads now by 3.5 seconds. The front 3. You can see there's De Grasse. Haas 3.5 seconds behind him. Not the blue car, it's the one behind that one. That's a back marker. I think that's Nigel Wood. And so Max Haas 3.5 seconds or so behind De Grasse. He's 3.5 seconds now back to Arella, who's pulled a gap out on Pavlicek. You can see there about 1.5 seconds after that error from Radek earlier. in the last 7 minutes or so, desperately trying to get onto the back of Max Haas. But that strategy decision to run late on those tyres needs to pay off about now. He's got to hope that the front two start to lose chunks of time. And to be fair, the last laps from De Grasse and Haas, both 1:47.891s to the 1,000th. Arella 1:47.4, so half a second there for Ralph, but he's going to need more than that for the next 6 minutes. If he's got any chance of getting back to second place, if not the lead. You can see Max Haas there just about to come through on the back marker. As he does. Haas is through past there. Let's just go with Arella, make sure he doesn't get in the way either. So De Grasse better lap this time, 1:47.6 for Damien De Grasse, 48 flat for Haas. Arella 47.4 this time, so Ralph with more pace at this stage of the race as we thought he might have with those tyres, but it's not enough. Back in the field, Rick Binnersley, Fabian Guide battling it out. Oh, Guide just runs it a little bit wide there. Rick's going to switch back now. Is that going to give him the better exit? It does, but fortunately he's not going to carry it. So difficult there to enable a switch back to go through the loop. So Guide leaves to fight another day. This is currently the closest battle on track for 11th. Behind this is Mark Schilling, and he's got Simon Finnegan behind him. Not a great race for Simon, they're down in 14th. Egon Rizov in 15th, and Fernandez back in 16th. Here we go. How much pace can these two carry through Copse? But is he just having to drop the throttle there, or is he would have tail-ended Fabian Guide? So Binnersley finds himself with some pace as well as the car's fuel load starts to bottom out. Up front though, Damien De Grasse 4 seconds now ahead of Max Haas. He's 2 seconds on Arella, and he's got a second and 3/4 on Pavlicek. So those three are just stretching each other out a little bit. As Guide drops into the pits, oh my goodness, 3 minutes to go. I'm guessing Fabian Guide has got a fuel issue and hands 11th place to Rick Binnersley. As Guide drops into the pits for fuel, it's going to enable Mark Schilling to come through as well. Bad calculations there from Fabian, and that's put him back now down the field as he makes that splash and dash through there. So Schilling up to 12th, Fabian down to 13th. He's out ahead of Simon Finningham. Yeah, there's Guide. Finningham's still coming over the start-finish line there. So 2 places lost from Fabian Guide there for that fueling error. But with just 2 minutes to go, De Grasse comes over to start the penultimate lap. Haas just in the background there, keeping him honest, but this is going to extend Damien De Grasse's lead at the head of the championship from his teammate, currently sat in fourth, Radek Pavlicek. Two normally chase each other down, but unfortunately Radek's just found Max Haas and Ralph Arella between the two of them today, and that's going to cost him vital points in the race for the championship, which is one more round after this in 2 weeks' time, don't forget. Be sure to join us for that. But we've seen today Damien de Grasse have an atrocious start, or he got bumped by his teammate, found himself down in 13th position at the end of lap 1, and manages to find himself now 4 seconds in the lead as they come through with just a lap and a half to go. De Grasse from Haas, from Arella, from Pavlicek. Great drive from Andre Bergsma today, never looked in danger in 5th position, desperately trying to keep hold of these BMWs, but that Audi just not having the pace of its German counterpart. Tobias Hoffmann with his 2 pit stop strategy, flying along in 6th, but 20 odd seconds behind Bergsma. Dusan Magyar in 7th after a couple of little errors we've seen from him. Again, same thing from Nemanja Manojlovic, he's down in 8th. Didn't see what happened with him early in the race, presumably with de Grasse. So we need to keep an eye on that one. Remember, anything the stewards deem to have been inappropriate and not handed back, which I'm guessing that was the case there, is a 5-second penalty. So de Grasse on his final lap will just want to make sure, you can see the gap to Haas is 4.5. He'll want to make sure that's 5 seconds, so if by any chance a penalty comes his way, he's got that gap covered to make sure he keeps the win. Haas needs to keep the toe down as he's just come to a back marker. Just got past him. But needs to keep that gap to de Grasse under 5 seconds. That's the only chance he's going to have of possibly taking this race. In fact, that's Ralph Arella behind Max Haas. I thought it was a back marker. My apologies, it's not. That's the battle for second place. I said Ralph's tyres will come to life later in the race. Not wrong. Look at that. What a drive from Ralph Arella. Second place on the podium awaits. Like I said, if they can keep that gap to de Grasse under 5 seconds, you never know. De Grasse just slowing slightly. I hope that's not a fuel issue. No, looks like they're okay. This is the battle for second. Is Arella going to do the outside again? Max 2 wise to that one. Puts the power down through. Up to the chicane they come. Haas looks like he's got this from Arella. But out in front, Damien de Grasse, what a win from 13th position at the back. And just behind them you can see Max Haas crosses the line. A flared nostril between Max Haas and Ralph Arella for 2nd and 3rd. Bergsma's going to come through for 4th. What's happened to Pavlicek? He's down in 5th now. Radek Pavlicek finishes in 5th. That's an even bigger gap now for the championship. Wow. What happened at the end there? Not a fuel issue because he's still going. Must have just had an error on the last lap. De Grasse, Haas, Arella, Bergsma 4th, Pavlicek 5th, Hoffmann up to 6th, Magyar 7th, Manojlovic in 8th, Wood 9th, Camaletto rounds out your top 10. Rick Bennesdee in 11th, Mark Schilling down in 12th, Fabian Guide after that splash and dash at the end there in 13th, Fillingham 14th, Ivan Rizov 15th, Fernandez rounds out the grid in 16th, and unfortunately Valentino Rossi, as he said, ends. Let's jump over into Discord, see what the guys are chatting about over there. Here we go. Obviously not got chatting yet, which I'm surprised. They're probably knackered after that, to be honest. You can see the original race was set 55 laps in error. That's why we had a little server glitch in practice. Had to reset the server. Make sure it was 55 minutes, 55 laps. God, I'm sure we'd all be dead, even you watching. So Ralph Varela straight on. Congrats to those two. And you can see, even he knows how close it was to Max Haas. Remember, if you want to get involved in any way with RR